Alright, fuckers, welcome back to, what is it? What the fuck am I doing? Oh yeah, Visual Library. I'm Gregory Brand. Anyways, I draw from reference, I try to recreate it from imagination, right? Understanding the forms that I'm drawing. Right now I'm obsessed with guns, right? Watch every single one of my videos to understand the context. But mainly, draw along with me. Either you have two choices. Use me as background ASMR, right, while you draw, or you watch my videos for any sort of informative lessons you may perhaps gain because I'm better than you. But yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Viggy, and I'm attempting to become the greatest of all time, right? By practicing the right things, which is art fundamentals. Okay, I don't waste my time doing fluff art. I only ever learn, and that's something I promote to you as well. Yeah, for those who already know my channel, you're probably like, why the fuck is he doing an introduction? The algorithm, my friend, it's all in the algorithm, right? I have to game the algorithm. To game the algorithm, I have to say stupid shit like, oh, if you don't know me, like that type of shit, right? But then once I've done that, I can go back to being retarded. Oh, and also begging for likes and subscribes. Like, subscribe, please, and thank you. Wonderful. Anyways, I added end cards to all my videos yesterday, which took a fucking long ass time. But I added them because apparently they're also good for encouraging click-through rates, right? In the beginning, I was like, you know what? I don't want to add that. They're annoying and I care about my fans. But you know, money changes people, and I have none, which is why I need money, which is why I'm adding them, right? So, lack of money always being the problem, isn't it? Yeah, somebody even asked me on the Artwad Discord because I got found out there. One of the guys was like, "What do you want to do?" He was being very introspective. Unfortunately, I don't have the brain cells to be introspective, so I just responded with money, and everybody else laughed. There was like two other people in the chat or in the voice chat, and he was like, "Is that it, bro?" I'm like, "That's basically it, man. I just want money. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I want to. Ideally, I would like to teach, right? I would like to draw. Oh fuck, I keep adding that by accident. Yeah, I would like to teach people and show them that they can become great artists. That's actually what I want to do, but you know, to do that, you have to be a great artist. So that's why that goal of mine isn't going to come about anytime soon. But apparently I've been helping people. I haven't gotten many comments on my channels lately, which is unfortunate because I actually love the community aspect. I've really come to appreciate that. I didn't mean to add all of that. I just ended up I'm not noodling, but I've unfortunately gotten used to just, okay, so it's this, and then down, and then like that, right? This one goes down like so, a bit further out, and then we're sort of bringing it out. But yeah, none of that is actually what I should be doing. But I'm here now, so I might as well. Okay. Nah, fuck this up already anyways. But mainly what I'm trying to do is just get practice of this shape. I'm gonna practice this shape a bunch because that's basically what the end all be all is, right? In terms of this top part, it's getting this shape down. Okay, it's converging a little bit, but that's okay. And again, this is great for line practice, right? But yeah, I would love to teach when I get good, right? Quote unquote, get good, because that's really gonna help me. Yeah, I should have been around there. So this line on the outside is not right. Something like that. It's a cut in, right? I should probably draw just the, not this extra shit, but just the cutouts, the subtractions that are occurring. That'd probably be the best way to go about it. So just the basic additions and subtractions. So probably this, and then this is all normal, right? I'm not adding these on top yet because these are very simple shapes. to me now, right? They're not simple shapes in general, but because I've done so much of this and I've done so much practice and sort of manipulating it, right? Imagining that it becomes much clearer, right? But yeah, like it's not simple. Trust me, it's not something you can just do right off the bat. But it's all derived from previous practice. So even this, like this looks like shit to me, but this is already so much better than anything I was able to do prior. Right, and then it goes back in like so, something like that. It's a cutout that's happening, that comes out, but then it's going back in, and it stays that way, I guess. Yeah, again, this is all wrong, but either way, I'm gonna leave that, and we're gonna keep practicing this basic shape, right? Basic shapes is how we learn. Basic shapes is how we grow in terms of art ability, as well as challenging angles, which requires a lot of thought. See, that was too curved, and this is why I'm drawing so tiny too, because you got to be able to create perfect lines. But yeah, I guess I'll try to talk. It's very difficult, but I'll try to talk while I draw. Right, that's a skill in of itself that needs to be learned at one point. So I would like to teach, and the only reason I'd want to teach is because I want to showcase that yes, it can be done. That's literally the only reason I'd want to teach, is just to prove to any hapless soul that you can. It's like fucking All Might to Deku, right? Kimi wa hero ni naru, or whatever the fuck. You can be a hero. I tried to Japanese it, but my African isn't the best. Great country though, but yeah, I'd want to. It's literally like I'm one of the biggest reasons I'm becoming the GOAT, right? I'm on the path to become the GOAT. Is that to prove you literally anyone can draw, right? Anybody, voice crack. Okay, so it's like this, and then so when I look at the reference, it's essentially these two are basically almost the same width. This is the middle point, right? And then this one's just slightly shorter, right? So that nuance in proportion is actually going to help me a lot as well. But so it's more like it's more, I guess, this length. I might as well make it even, because it's not about making it hyper perfect or anything. But let's see. So this is where I connect it, right? Yeah, at this angled one. And this is a really difficult angle because it's basically this. This is the Y I have to imagine, right? To visualize this quite a bit. And then yeah, then we have, if this again, the Y that I'm imagining is which plane? It's this plane. So we have something like that. Before it, I guess it should have been more curved this way before it comes out again. And again, I know there's like these are such tiny plane changes, and I'm purposefully making it tiny in terms of the lines as well. So I understand if all of this is very confusing. Completely understand. Right? Because I am also making many mistakes as time goes on as well. right? But hey, and this should not have been like that. In fact, yeah, I fucked up the perspective here. It's way too narrow. Way too narrow. Yeah. But we can just pretend like it's normal for now. Yeah. And then this just keeps going. But not as long, right? Not as long. Perspective's a bit off. And we can... hopefully this connects. See, these lines are so difficult to fucking do. And this should be connected roughly like that. It's a bit off perspective. And this one like that. Okay, that's definitely off perspective. But that's basically the shape. But I think if we were to measure it... Okay, I made them even, so shouldn't be fully even. But again, that's a very difficult angle to do it from. So I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do as well, right? I would like to engage with my community more. I have a small one, very small, like on average 20 views. But and I know commenting is not something many people do. I don't even fucking comment. But if you have any questions, or if you just want to talk about how great that burp was, then yeah, leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe. Oh, I'm so done. I'm so done. Yeah, it feels good to make mistakes. Again, somebody in the Broken Jaw Discord said something which I obviously resonate with 100%, which is a master is only a master because they've failed an unimaginable amount of times. Like, we can't even comprehend how many times they fucked up, right? The only difference between you, myself, and them is that we haven't had that many fuck ups, and we haven't learned from those fuck ups yet. But it's all the same. It's all the fucking same. We're the same, you, I, and them. Okay, let's do this angle. I definitely need to focus on visualizing more. Okay, so... I probably should add this cutout because that's part of it. So that is a subtraction that is occurring, so I need to be aware of that. I definitely need to visualize this much more to the best of my ability. Notice how I say to the best of my ability, not perfectly, but to the best of my ability, right? That's the main thing. It's not about being perfect, it's just about being the best that you can be in the given moment. Okay, so that's my perspective. Okay, I need to think about how the diagonal is going to operate in this context, because this is the perspective established, right? This little y, I guess you could say it, the axes. So I need to think very, very, very hard on, because it is a diagonal jet out slightly, right? It's very slight. In the reference itself, it's a bit different. No, it's not. It's not. I don't want to think too deeply about it. Right, this gun's gonna take, this gun specifically, this one right here, is going to take me a very long time, because again, I'm very intentionally trying to get all the subtractions, all the minor subtractions and additions and shapes in it. Like, I'm literally trying to create a one-to-one using simple shapes, or I guess using form only, right? Not really simple shapes, but yeah, like this, simplest shapes, but replicating what they are, right? So I guess complex shapes, I guess you could say, but form, yeah. Right, this is a great way for me to practice addition and subtractions as well. Not so much form intersections. There's intersecting going on, but nothing to the level that it's not as if I'm blending a fucking cylinder with a sphere or something like that. That shit is hard. This is a different type of difficulty. But anyways, so diagonal would be if I'm going down, right? I'm going out. Same thing here, down, out. Something about that always feels so... There you go. There you go. That's the thing, right? Because this ends up making me, when I see that line, just because it's slightly different, it's only slight outwards, makes me think that this is a new perspective, and that fucks with me. But this is why it's important to keep realigning the perspective with yourself. Oh shit, I need to stop fucking adding those lines. Dude. That's how thin it should be. You see, these lines are possible, these extremely thin lines. They're 100% possible. They just require immense focus, and especially very, very, very clean lines. Right? I think that only can happen through repetition. So not perfect, but again, I'm really thinking about trying to keep that grid in my mind as much as possible. The box, the grid, everything. Difficult as shit, don't get me wrong, but necessary. Right, this is the way it's going. So see how minute that is? This one's going slightly outward this way. This one's going down this way. Not even like 2 millimeter difference. And it's good, this is training my eye as well. And I can actually do something which reinforces the perspective for me. Although this is a bit of a wonky ellipse. Right? To be honest, never fucking trust anything I say. I'm like, I'm gonna practice this shape, and then I went back to doing this shit. But I'm obviously gonna do it. I think the main thing I'm avoiding right now, to retain simplicity, hopefully, is just these subtractions. But I want the basic gist of it down. But let me think. Okay, so now we have over here, out. Yeah, there you go, because it's going out, and it's going down perspective, then it's going out this way, and it's going it goes outward on all of the planes, right? It travels along all planes. That's what the main thing. But at the end of the day, it's just something that's coming outward like this. But to visualize that, it's this, then this again. Trying to keep my hand as steady as possible. Same thing here, right? And this thing travels along the perspective, but again, this is coming slightly outward, right? And this is why spatial reasoning is so important, because we know this perspective is the same, but this one is coming slightly outward. And when we apply the same logic here to here, you ever wonder why your voice sounds so nasally sometimes? I'm wondering that right now. I'm playing this here to here. Fucking hate my voice, bro. Fucking hate my voice. Yeah. Anyways. Something like that. Right? It's important to know how it's jutting out on all sides. And this is why I create these reinforcing these planes, right? This is all plane transitions from my understanding. These are all plane transitions, right? And then now we finally have something going in the perspective. Again, I'm looking at the reference here. This is where we get that little triangular shape. This is where things get a bit fucked because it's essentially going down like that, and then what's happening? It's jutting out like so. Right, it's going back in, is my understanding. No, wait, I shouldn't have even done that. It's right here. It's going in through there. There you go. It's going back inwards. Right? Let me check the other reference. Oh, I get it. That line doesn't even show. Yeah, we don't even need to see that. Okay, so none of that exists. Then it's just coming back out like this. On the bottom, it's basically the same. Yeah. So it's literally just like that. And we just go down the perspective for, I guess, roughly that long. It's essentially double this entire thing, a bit more than double, so like that. Right. This one's higher up now, because obviously it's going diagonal. Something like that. It's basically what it is. But it should be aligned. Interesting. Drawing it from the bottom definitely makes it much more difficult to understand. I see. Actually, there's a plane change that I didn't even account for. So, well, this is actually just that, right? It just kind of goes back down to align with this. See, but you see, like this again, why I'm trying to keep my lines clean, because if I draw over, it looks horrendous, for lack of a better word. Okay, cool. Now I need to visualize the rest. This is where, okay, so that happens. This goes slightly outward. We got something, well, that line should be connected over here actually, but anyways, we got something, goes out like this. And then we have it like that. Right? Now this is where we really have to think about the perspective. Right? There you go. Oh, shouldn't have seen that side because this is just... That's a mistake I've been making a decent amount of times, but it's okay. I'll learn from it. This front part is just this. And then, yeah, see, we shouldn't have seen this line either, should we have? That line doesn't really seem that necessary. I guess this should have gone a bit lower. Yeah, it should be, exactly, should be a bit lower here. Too thick now, so it kind of messes with the illusion, but I guess that's fine. Did I make that too long? We're about to see. And then we have, it's curving, like so. And then it goes back to following the See, I'm holding my pen a bit too tight now, so that's not good. That plane change. See, gotta align it. See, Antonio is right in the sense that there's much less room for error, right? This is diagonally moved forward. And we just get this little plane change right here. There you go. So that's the shape. Oh, and I completely fucked up because it's the same thing on the other side, so which is good. It's good to make these mistakes. So it's cut out like that. Probably should have been a bit higher up, but seems to be. That's how it works. Yeah, this should have been higher up. We needed to be aligned with the perspective, right? So it should have been like that. But, seems to be how it is. Yeah, these plane changes are very difficult, which is good. I'm trying my best to try to understand it. Okay, cool. Now we do it. Now I rest my brain and then we do it again, but I don't look at the reference. We do it from imagination. Technically, this is imagination in the sense that I'm already skewing the perspective quite a bit, but this is good. Anyways, you can also, I don't know why I have to keep fucking doing this. What is this? Call to action? Rest your brain, don't rest your brain, whatever. I'm gonna rest my brain. I think it's clear probably the part that I'm struggling with the most is, well, how long has it been? Only 27 minutes? Beautiful. So much drawing ahead of me. But yeah, it's clear that the part I'm struggling with the most is... Oh, Jesus, hold up. No, that's not the entire thing. Yeah, tea really fucks with my burpability. Yeah, my burpability. But... Jesus. Okay, that was a forced one. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Not because I care about your ears, but because I care about my stomach. Yeah, I think now it's important to identify where we struggle with the most, right? Obviously, I think visualizing just this section has been a consistent, in difficult angles, it's been pretty consistently difficult. What an amazing sentence. Yeah, in difficult angles, it's been pretty fucking hard to do. So, especially because there's these changes that are occurring. I told myself I wouldn't draw it, but then I end up drawing it. So first we need to understand what's happening at the bottom. Right? The bottom is basically just this. I guess if I start there, right? Then it's like, okay, we have a tiny little outward thing like that. That's one, because that's involving this. Then we have another one that's slightly more outward, which is fucking annoying. Before going straight down with the perspective, right? Like so. And this is where, because if we take it outward, like, yeah, this is where first this thing connects, and then this one goes way more out, right? And then that's where like the little trapezoid shape here connects, and then goes further up, and that's where we have our little cutout, like so. This is just me postulating, as they say, right? And then it goes straight down again, decent amount, before coming back out. That was the incorrect perspective. And then, essentially to align with this again, we're just... I don't know if that curve is necessary. Just like that, and it just keeps going, right? It's probably more of a very subtle diagonal like this. Yeah, very like this one was more accurate. That seems to be what's happening in terms of the slight plane changes, right? The subtle shifts. And then again, I need to understand this better. So if I were to just bring this outward as I would do, right, make this all nice and cut out. I'm a bit too impatient with these lines. And then again, coming out, and down, so it's right. Yeah, that makes sense, and I visualize that, which is good. And again, we go back to this way, and yeah, then it cuts in. Then we have something like this, right? But it's diagonal as fuck compared to the actual reference. So it's more like that. It cuts out again, something like that. We can just emulate that here. Fuck. Okay, I didn't do it properly, but and again, that's way too tiny of a plane. But it's good because this is really improving my lines, which is what matters as well. Right, and then there's this thing this is what's causing the jut out, I guess, because it's like that. Bring this back again, and this one just keeps going, of course, right? Because now we have this slight little there you go. See? Already making more sense, hopefully. And just, I'm going to make this a bit shorter just so I can understand that a bit better. But yeah, it comes this way, this thing curves back around, right? Like so. Let's just bring this all the way. We're not seeing shit there. And then again, we got the slight diagonal plane shift, and then the main diagonal plane shift. And then we're just aligning everything now. And there you go. It's not perfectly aligned, but yeah, there you go. That makes a lot more sense now. So I think I got it. Or I think I'm getting it, right? Don't ever want to say you actually understand something. That is called hubris, my friend, a hubris. We do not want to be Hubermans or Hubernated. But I wouldn't mind being Huberman. He has a fucking beautiful beard, right? But that's good. Okay, so again, drawing it in a different perspective is always key to really understanding it, much more than you would have otherwise, right? So again, we can just practice this a little bit with the little plane changes. And again, I'm literally just doing this so my lines can be fucking top tier, and so I can actually visualize better too, these little nuances. Because if I can do that, then drawing something much larger becomes a lot easier. Because it's like, oh, look at all this space I have to work with. I can literally see everything. And honestly, just from practicing so tiny, it's gotten so much better. I thought drawing small would be a bad thing, but I think in terms of drawing big and improving my spatial reasoning, but because I'm drawing so tiny, the little micro adjustments and analysis that I have to do in my mind right? With the perspective, like think about it, right? I'm literally using a plane that's essentially like this, right? And I'm having to analyze, like, okay, like it's like this tiny little adjustment, this tiny little adjustment. Okay, this one's more like that, right? So literally just having to do that, but on such a small scale. If that makes complete sense, actually. If you're doing it on such a small scale, and you're, Jesus Christ, how the fuck did I manage that? Just it was at the edge, and then it just flew out of my hand. Hilarious! Subscribe for more hijinks like these. There you go. That's the noise I make, right? Come on, I have to be consistent. But yeah, look at that. Now on a larger scale, I can literally just visualize it so much easier. That's fucking hilarious. By hilarious, I mean quite amazing. Now, you see my lines have gotten a little bit better as well. Right, same thing with... Oh, fuck, I keep doing this. That's one thing that hasn't gotten better. My goddamn inclination to draw these perfectly. You see? There you go. Yeah, all that from drawing this so small makes it a lot better, clearly. So, yeah, my spatial reasoning has improved. Goddamn, that's pretty good. Anyways, back to drawing out super tiny, because this angle is going to be a bitch to try to do in my mind, because this is the perspective, right? So I need to be able to zoom out, see it, but at the same time fucking zoom in and see it. This is probably going to improve my perception a lot too, just my ability to see nuance, not just in this, but maybe even in life. But what are we doing? I'm gonna rest my brain after this, so again, feel free to join me. But calculating this is very difficult right now, so I have to think about just one plane right now. So just something like that. See how much this, because there's so much nuance that I have to take in, sometimes even up the ass. There you go. See, I just have to believe that one day these lines will be so fucking pristine. It'll be, not only will I be able to do this, I'll be able to do it even faster. Right? But this is good, because again, I'm really starting to understand the space in which it operates, which is the most important thing right now. That's a mistake, which is good. We always want to be making mistakes. This plane, that. So it'd be more like this. There you go. Okay. And this one just comes back outward, following the actual perspective. So here, that, and then it kind of, yeah, to align with that, goes back up. There you go. So yeah, from this side it makes sense that we'd be seeing this, right? And then it cuts. Right. And we could do something like, is it, wait, it's cutting out, right? I think that's the mistake I've made. It should be like this, yeah. But it's much, obviously, something like that. And it's basically the cutout. It's like that, right? It should probably be a bit higher. And then this one, we just need to subtly bring it back into place. Very, very subtle. Maybe that's not subtle enough. Go as a perspective. Keep everything in mind. Something like that, right? I think I'm still figuring out this cutout, because obviously, if I look at the reference again, actually, what is happening yonder? It's like this, it seems. If I look at it from the side, it's that. Actually, I literally have the reference, so might as well. Yeah, it's literally like this, and then it goes inwards. It's like this. And we have the entire thing, I guess, right here. And then it cuts, yeah, it cuts out again. You know, this goes all the way up, much further up. And it cuts back out, or back in. And then it's like that. So very subtle, actually, very subtle. Because if this is our perspective, yeah, if this is our perspective, then we have something coming in, right? But it's also raising. And then we also have little fuckers like these, right? Which add so much more to it. Now there's 6 of them, and I have to draw this, what is it, 10 times smaller or some shit? So that's basically what's happening here. I did this wrong, obviously. Now I know that this should be much higher. This distance I've been creating a lot of problems, having issues with, so I should probably practice that a lot more, because the proportion for that is also very important, right? For example, this should be much longer. This should be double the length, and coming down like so. And then this, but it's supposed to be a lot higher too. So this is actually maybe even further back, right? So this is a lot higher like that. And then it makes more sense when something is coming in, words like that, following the perspective, and then this thing is coming out. Okay, or jutting back in. This probably doesn't make sense to people watching, but again, search up the gun. The gun is a C-22. I should probably say this in the beginning, but it's too late for that shit. So yeah, I'm saying it now. But cool, I'm gonna actually practice this addition a bunch of times as well. I think that's important to get down. I mean, I'm gonna keep practicing it, but I guess I will be practicing the specific proportions for that, right? Okay, cool. You know, just try to make it more intuitive, but yo, this burp is not coming out. Oh, there you go. That was beautiful. I just needed to lift my head and look at the sky like an autist. Wonderful. But anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain, and what do I say? Encourage you to do it as well. Some shit like that. Bye for 10 seconds. Wonderful. Yeah, bro, I love learning this gun. It's always a bit intimidating. Not gonna lie, even a god like myself does get intimidated when thinking about having to put all this cognitive effort in, but it's really fun. It's just really fun. What can I say? Right, once I get down to it, I just focus on thinking and trying to apply it. It just, I guess, the artist in me, the passion, takes over, right? I love practicing these thin ass lines because one day they will be incredible. That's a fuck up though, like a severe fuck up, but okay. That's also a bit of a fuck up as well, but again, we're not here to judge, only discriminate. You see? Off perspective. It's okay. And now we need to understand the proportions. So first I will try recalling, and then I'll practice it on its own, right? And I love how you just can't tell that all of this is 45 minutes of work, right? These really, really small things that I've drawn. But again, this channel exists fucking why do I have a lisp when I'm drawing when I'm recording myself? I don't talk like that in real life. That's not even a lisp. None of those words required a lisp. I just decided to do the little Down syndrome voice anyways, but okay, there you go. We'll just do that to reinforce the perspective as well as work on my lines. Oh, see, that's a wobbly line right there. There you go. That's a bit better. There you go. And that's the only fucking thing I need. I need to stop drawing any more than that. Right? We don't need to connect so many of these lines. That's incorrect. That's a bit better. We need to make this a lot more squished in. This ended up being pretty wrong. At least this one did. But whatever, it's okay. So first we establish this is much longer apparently, right? So let's bring it down, bring it out, and bring it out again. Cool, so it's like this. So that means this, or to meet that, will be a bit longer as well. Something like that. We can replicate that over here, like so. It's not perfect, could be a bit better, but we can replicate it, which is what's important. Now we've established that this is much longer here, right? So we're gonna follow through on that and make it equal length. There you go. This will allow, it seems like this thing is much longer. This way we can do something like that. There you go. Not really as trapezoidal as I wanted it to be, but perhaps this is the perspective of it, right? So we'll have to see, but I'm not a rapper. Anyways, now this is the part. It's jutting outward. So it's like this. Oh wait, incorrect line. But either way, okay, made it perspective a bit off, but there you go. Make this a bit longer to follow that perspective because I obviously keep losing it. Right? Okay, so that is better. And again, this thing has that jut out like so. If we look at the other side, what did it look like? Just jutting out like that, and then it's just getting more diagonal, right? Getting much more diagonal. So do something like that. It's not perfect, but it's okay. There you go. It's a cutout, right? And we have all these little divots, or whatever the fuck they're called. But we still need to go back here. Perhaps, can I make it subtle? It's difficult to make it subtle. Okay, and then we have this little, there's another diagonal thing, like so, that comes out. This is where this comes into play, because it's basically aligning with this, with that, like that, and that's where we connect. Now, I could have made this a bit better, because it's touching that, and it shouldn't have been touching that, because my line was too thick. Or actually, no, it makes sense, because that's the perspective. This thing is jutting out, so obviously we'd see overlap. That makes complete sense, never mind. Right. And then... yeah. Follow the perspective. Bring this bunch out. Then this is the perspective right here, and it's curving along that. And then it's like that slight shift, and then this one, longer than that one. Okay, cool. So this is this much, so this one will be a little bit longer, right? And we'll, if this is the perspective we've established, this one will go slightly more. Just wait, what the fuck? Oh, I completely lost the perspective. Jesus Christ. This will go way more. Then okay, so I definitely lost the perspective quite a bit here, but see, that's much more subtle. Yeah, this I lost the perspective here, but it's not too bad. Yeah, here I definitely lost it a little bit. Some things are misaligned, but, and this is fucking weight. This is diverging at this point, right? Should have stopped around here. You see how this is diverging? So that's not good. That's the main issue as well. So I shouldn't have tried to meet it. I should have stopped this here, and it would have just been a line that comes back around and overlaps. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And then yeah, this would have stopped right around there as well. And there you go. That would have been better. But this is great. Being able to understand this shape is actually a huge step. So how much time? 52 minutes. Wonderful. I'll do it again. Oh god. This is why I fucking burp, because I can't even drink something properly. But yeah, I hope people who are, I guess, learning about guns are enjoying this, right? I guess I can break it down to myself, and therefore you, right? So what am I really doing here? First of all, again, the gun is a C22. We're doing the top half, right? If the gun is something like this, right? There's a top half, there's a bottom half, there's this, right? The trigger, and then there's the handle. Like, that's basically the gun. Although this is probably a bit shorter, it stops around here, right? I'm breaking it into 4 sections, which is the top half, the bottom half of this part, and then the trigger, right? And then the handle. That's what I'm doing. Obviously the handle is actually a bit more curved, right? But that's what I'm doing, right? That's what I'm focusing on. The gun is called a C22, right? I have a couple literally 2 references. It's the beige one, right? All I'm doing is trying to draw it in literally as it is, right? And it's with all its complexities and plane changes, all its subtle plane changes and all that. Why am I doing that? As purely a test and as a means, sorry, not a test, purely as a means to improve my spatial reasoning, right? If you can account for micro adjustins, who the fuck is adjustin? That'd be a shit name if you had that. But if you can account for micro adjustins in a plane, right, accurately, then that's, personally in my opinion, something great, right? Because that means you can essentially retain believability while adding complexity, right? So, because now I can understand that, oh, if I want a point to be there, then it's traveling like this, It's traveling like this, that's traveling up here. Therefore, I could just do this, right? How would that look on the other end? You know, because it's traveling like this, probably further, right? This. Okay, so that'd be something like that, right? And then we can just retain that nuance. Like this is obviously not the shape I'm drawing, but the point is, it's allowing me to really understand space, right? And how things can and will interact in space. And this is basically like a plane change grind, I guess you could call it, right? A means to improve my understanding of subtle perspective plane changes. And obviously, I'm trying to draw all the shapes as accurately as they can, all that stuff. So, which is why even though when this stuff looks wonky, in my opinion, it still looks pretty decent because now we're accounting for things that exist in real life, which is even in a gun as small as a C2, which is, I think, from what my friend told me, around like literally like this big, right? There's so many little subtle things that make it feel believable, right? Then this comes down to designing as well. So all that shit aside, what I'm trying to say is, what I'm doing essentially is first I'm thinking about the super basic shapes, right? Which is just it's this. Probably should make this a bit longer, I guess. Right? And obviously I fuck up the perspective. Every time I try to every time I try to do a demo, I always fuck up the perspective. And then I wonder why nobody subscribes. But this is basically the first thing I'm thinking about when I'm doing this. It's just a box with another box subtracted. Right. I'm literally just taking this out. Don't get me wrong, this is still, I guess, more of a beginner intermediate skill when it comes to perspective and form, right? It's a beginner, but this is more of an intermediate level skill in that beginner breadth. I don't fucking know, in that vein, in the beginner vein. Yeah, can't pronounce. But that's the first thing I'm thinking about. And then literally all I'm doing within this base is additions and subtractions, right? And obviously I'm trying to do it really, really tiny to improve my line work. That's all I'm doing, right? You go here, and then there's like a cutout or some shit, and then it goes all the way here as a cutout, and then it comes back out, right? We have to account for the fact that it's more diagonal, so you got something like this. This cutout, we're not really seeing the other part of it, but whatever, it's like that. This thing connects here for some reason, brings it down. There's like a little cutout over here that exists. This one's actually more diagonal, so I'm just keeping the box in mind while that happens, right? But it follows the fucking perspective, so we gotta make sure we do that. And then boom, before you know it, right? And then there's like a curve here, right? But then it's following the perspective again, right? And before you know it, it's already starting to look more like this, right? And this has like jut outs of its own, so if I were to reverse engineer it, it'd be something like that. Right? Yeah, and then there you go. Right? This is just, I'm thinking about this. Well, really, honestly, I'm thinking about just a box, but I'm having difficulty doing a subtraction of a box in my mind, but that's basically the gist. That's what I'm trying to keep in mind, the simple form that's underneath it, right? So that's how I'm approaching it. It all starts with the simple form, obviously, but I don't think it hurts to also just practice. Like right now, I could literally just do something more basic. It's still requiring some forethought, right? Because at the end of the day, this is basically what I'm intending, to the best of my ability, to keep in mind, right? Something like that, although I made this way too big, right? That's the basic shape for the top. And when you start adding shit to it, like this stuff, then it looks more real, because you're like, oh, okay, we got something going on here, we got something going on over here, right? This is more gun-like. Okay, now we have this, right? There's some fucking random shit over here that's cut out. There's a bunch of little fuckers. This is the hardest part, which is these little things that are jutting out. Right, and I gotta get this down properly too, with really tiny lines. But it already starts to look more like a gun. There's a thingy here, right? It's like a pill shape. Well, and technically there's actually a box right here. What would that look like? Oh, it'd just be like this. Yeah, see? Boom, even from that simple shape, and even with my half-assed drawing, it's already starting to look more mechanical, right? I'm just taking it to the next step by literally recreating it one-to-one. Because the point is, just like with the bike mannequin that I was doing, crazy scooters, which I still haven't gotten down at all, right? I've only gotten the first half down, the front half, is the more I can just recreate these complex shapes, I'm honestly just overall fucking catapulting my spatial reasoning skills. But now I have a mannequin, a near one-to-one mannequin of the thing that I'm drawing, right? When the scooter thing happens, for that one bike, I'll have a fucking near perfect bike mannequin for that, right? Same with this, the gun. I'll have a near perfect gun mannequin for the C22. Once I internalize that and store that in my long-term memory over fucking dozens of hours, right? Because this is what I'm already on hour 4 of drawing this gun, and progress has been made, but at the same time, there's a lot to learn, which is great. There's always a lot to learn, right? But once I do this, then I can essentially draw that quote-unquote perfectly replicated C22 mannequin, and then just start taking or adding things or changing things. This thing over here, maybe it can, instead of being something like this, right? Maybe I could just slightly change that to something, because I understand plane changes a bit more, to something like this, like that, right? So now we have a little divot there, still comes back around, right? And then you see it comes outward the other way, and then maybe I'm just doing something like that, right? And this turns to this, and this is on top of the gun instead, and then maybe I'm just adding like a fucking, I don't know, extra sights next to it. It's like, oh wow, concept art, right? That's basically what they do, is they learn how to draw the actual thing, and then they just change it up, right? I say just, but learning how to draw the actual thing, very, very difficult. It takes fucking lots of hours and years. It takes lots of years, to be clear. And then the act of creatively changing it, this is fucking garbage compared to what a good example would be, but I think what I'm trying to say applies, is the act of even going from this to this is a creative act. So creativity is also a skill that can be learned and improved, right? We all have our own different baselines, but mine clearly isn't just whatever, probably pretty average, right? So that also takes a long time to be able to actually ideate and create, right? Which is why concept art is a very impressive skill, which is why drawing from imagination and creating your own worlds, right, is a very impressive skill. That's why art is the goat. But I think I've done too much explaining and not enough drawing. And it's already been an hour and 3 minutes. So I don't know, that's a lot of talking. I want to do one more, and then I guess I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna fucking, not a rush, but it's 2:22. I have my goddamn piano lesson at 3 p.m. today, because my piano teacher is abroad, so we're doing online lessons. But he's still trying to figure out his schedule, right? So I guess if anything, I can just practice the plane change. It's just, this one will be a bit bigger, which is nice, I guess. I know this is a very easy angle, but right now I just need to figure out. Yeah, I just need to figure out the main thing. Again, shouldn't have done this. Fucking every time I do this shit, bro. See, some habits are not good. That should have been way thicker. But whatever. Anyways, the main thing I need to conceptualize in my mind is, okay, this goes out. This goes, that comes out here. Then we go longer straight. Right? This one's pretty long as well. Trapezoidal. And then we have something that is jutting inwards, like so. And it's diagonal as well. There you go. And then something like that. that's too much of a jet out. I'll have to look at the reference again to understand this a bit better, right? Because obviously I'm not trying to rush this, but at the same time, I'm trying to see if I draw fast, how much of it do I actually understand? Right? How much of this is intuitive and how much of this is just me bullshitting my way through it, right? This one right here is actually supposed to be connected, so obviously, even though I'm rushing it, this is still the biggest issue, right? This one right here is still the biggest issue because it seems too small. That's what I need to figure out. So again, look at the reference again, try to see what's going on there. Okay, actually it is small there. Why does this seem so small too then? And the spacing and everything seems off. So I have to figure that out. Oh, it's because this is longer. I see, okay. So this thing's actually much longer. So this right here, I do this, right? This is actually much longer. There you go, it's like that. And this is even longer. I think that's the main thing, right? Yeah, that's basically the main thing because this is even longer. See, it's all based on this contour. This contour determines everything. This is actually accurate, so this I'm going to put a check mark. That's accurate. This, not accurate, because look, just by making it literally just slightly longer, look at all the extra space we've given ourselves, and this suddenly is also much longer, so is this, right? So now when we go like that, it's like, oh, okay, there's actually all this space for these shapes to gradually get bigger, right? And now when this happens, like, oh, okay, there's actually all, again, literally all this space. Fuck. Yeah, there's like all this space over here. It makes a lot more sense now. See? Again, we can just keep this like that, bring it. Yeah, see, when I rush, my lines go to shit, but something like that. Something like that. Yeah, whatever. The point is, this needs to be much longer, and I foreshortened the fuck out of this because my perspective went to absolute shit. It's supposed to be down here. That's better. Still not good, but better. Anyways, starting to understand it. Again, slowly making progress, understanding things a bit better. I think a lot of the times it does feel like zero progress or understandings have been made, if that's a word, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. And we have to appreciate the errors. This is a giant fucking error, right? But look how crucial it was for me to reinforce myself that, oh, okay, proportions. Proportions really do make or break the thing you're drawing, right? Because in my case, it was breaking a lot of how this operated in relation to the reference, because I didn't take into account actually the length of this and the length of this, right? This over here. So yeah, anyways, good fucking session. I hope you all had fun drawing, or at least this was educational or entertaining or whatever the fuck. Do I really hope that? No, I want that and I demand it, right? Hoping is for pussies. You did have fun and you did learn and you enjoyed the errors you made, you piece of shit. And with that being said, like, subscribe, whatever. I don't fucking know. Yeah, like, subscribe, sure. You probably see an end card at this point, right? Click on that shit. Click on the subscribe button too, because I made sure to shill my shit. I mean, it's a YouTube default recommendation, so that's what it is. But anyways, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money. Thank you.